snap. Two cars I don't know what the green box is for. Good afternoon everybody, Calm Biker here. Just heading back from Waitrose for our 3 cups of coffee. Get on with it. And on the way down I noticed a sign at the side of the road. I'll try and spot it, or I might have gone past it already. And tickles me a little bit. It's a big sign and it says "Hands off East Yorkshire," and it's in East Yorkshire. Just in fact it must be a bit further up here, just before we get to Hull. And what it's about, for those of you who do not know, Hull has its own council. Quite a big council at that. In fact, here is the sign here. I'll just try and show you as I go past. So hands off the East Riding. So Hull's got its own council, and it deals with all of Hull. And Hull is, well, it's not a huge city, but it's a reasonable size. It's I think there's about 250,000 or 300,000 people in it. And then it's in the middle of the East Riding of Yorkshire. So Yorkshire is split up into various bits. West Yorkshire with your Leeds and things like that. East Yorkshire with your Hull. North Yorkshire with places like York, and South Yorkshire with places like Doncaster. I think I've got that right. And these are the ridings generally. Well, certainly East Riding. I think it's West Riding as well. I'm not sure if it's a North Riding or just North Yorkshire. Anyway, that's besides the point. So Hull Council has decided that it wants to get its hands on parts of East Yorkshire Council. Maybe merge the two together over time, but for the time being it's just trying to get some of the area that's currently classed as East Riding and put it under the Hull City Council umbrella instead. And the Hull City Council is putting together a referendum for the areas that would be affected. Beverley's not one of them at the minute. I doubt it ever will be, because the answer to the referendum is going to be no. And it doesn't take a genius to work that out, but unfortunately for people who live in Hull, the people who run the council aren't geniuses. As everybody who lives in Hull knows. I used to live in Hull myself and I knew they weren't geniuses then. They've decided they want a bit of East Riding of Yorkshire to be part of Hull. And they're putting out this referendum essentially to people who they have no authority over whatsoever. So they're putting a referendum out to a different council's citizens. That's not the right word. Subjects isn't quite the right word, but you know what I mean. The people who live in the other bit. And the referendum is, would you like to join Hull City Council? Now, pretty much everyone knows the answer is going to be no. But they're coming up with some really quite amusing reasons why you should. But they're not kind of positive things. They're usual tell people how bad they are for not being part of Hull rather than how good it would be if they were. Now I suspect the real reason that they want these areas is that there's a lot of green area just outside of Hull, and the areas that they're talking about are generally less densely populated than Hull. And the suspicion I have, and a lot of people have, is that they just want to get their hands on it, on the areas outside, so that the bits in the middle, between the bits they want and the bits they already have, they can start to build into, put more houses and what have you on. That's the suspicion. And the people who live in the outlying areas have kind of moved there because it's the suburbs and there's a bit of greenery, and they don't want to live in highly urbanised areas. You know, that's kind of why you do it, isn't it? That's why we did it. Don't want to live in a city, quite happy living on the edge of a countryside. Although our council is gradually allowing people to build like crazy on the green belt around us as well, so we'll be in a city soon by default, I think. But they're coming out with wonderful little things like, it's not fair that people in the East Riding come into Hull and use our facilities. And you think, what facilities? Alright, you've got a few museums that are free, but you're starting to talk about wanting to charge for those or shut them down. Hull Council, you pillocks. What other facilities? Your shops? Well, here's something for you. There's a lot of people every weekend come from Hull to Beverley and from Hull to other areas where there's shopping centres. There's supermarkets around Hull that are in the East Riding, and you go to them as well. So, you know, where's the argument there? That is awesome driving. Gee, nearly ran over my foot then. You know, where's your logic there? And they're saying, oh, it's not fair that people from outside Hull come and work in Hull. Well, we're keeping your economy afloat, aren't we? We're buying things from your shops. What's your problem? I say we, I don't work in Hull anymore. I work in the East Riding, so obviously I'm doing the right thing by staying there. Although the place I work, I think, is one of the ones they've shortlisted for trying to take over, so presumably at that point I would then be in the wrong for living in the East Riding and work in an area where they've decided that they want it to be Hull. But yeah, a lot of silly responses or ideas they're coming out with as why you should vote to become part of Hull City Council. And I can't think of a single good reason why you'd want to. East Riding Council, can't say that they're the best council in the world, but I found them to be better than Hull's council. You know, as I said before, they're all pretty much numpties with edge for power rather than edge to do good. So, I get dust in my hat here. So I can't say that you're going to convince me to vote for you. God, this road is atrocious. Try and pick my way through it. But yeah, quite an amusing sign. There's actually a campaign against something that probably will never happen, based on the ideas of people who don't have a clue, to take over an area they have no authority over. That's democracy. Anyway, there's a ramble for the day. Let's call it FRO Hull City Council. Hands off our East Riding. Thanks for watching, everyone. Ride safe, and I'll talk to you all again soon.